Hello, everyone. Oh, let me get my other microphone on here. Gets a little bit better sound. Hey, Courtney, or the Courtney Corner. I think your name is Courtney. I'm not sure. Good evening. Can you hear me okay now? I have an external microphone on. Sometimes it just picks up a little bit clearer than my laptop mic. Okay, great. Hello, Sunflower Mom. Hi. Good evening to you. So let me make sure my phone is off. Yes. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Hey, Grammy Karen. Hi. Thank you for being here. I know this is a difficult time for you, and boy, do I appreciate you being here. This is amazing. Thank you so much. Courtney Corner and Sunflower Mom, where are you from? I would love to, like what state or what part of a state or something. And so just want to know how everybody's doing. Grammy Karen, did you make it over on Christmas? Was it Christmas Eve or Christmas Day? Because I know you guys got snow. We got snow. We had a blizzard on the 23rd. So by Christmas Eve afternoon, I was dug out. And so I was all cleaned out and was able to get where I needed to go Christmas Eve, which is to my my daughters for dinner, which was lovely. It was just wonderful. Central Pennsylvania. Well, wonderful. Thank you for being here. Everybody have a good Christmas. We got the three of you here. Woohoo! Party! Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I know it's probably a hard time for everybody to be showing up and coming in, but we'll give. Oh, thank you, Sunflower Mom. I really, really appreciate it. I sing for church all the time, and I sang in front of 1,000 people, and I, for different conferences and different things like that. But this first time I sang live on YouTube to all of my people here, and I got to tell you, I was nervous. It was a little bit nerve-wracking there. So I don't know. It was just because it's a new group. You guys have seen me for a long time doing other things and videos and all this kind of stuff. So thank you so much. To come out and do something. And there's something about singing, just playing the guitar or playing another instrument or something. It's like you have an object that you're putting your things in. Oh, hi, Kristen. Thank you. So there's almost like a third party between you and the audience, so to speak. And so, you've got this instrument doing things, but when you're singing, it's like, it's you, it's your heart, it's your soul, it's a piece of who you are, of your own physical being that's going out. And so it's like, I get nervous about that. So, but anyway, hey, Connie, hello. Hello. Hi, Dawn. You guys, thank you so much for being here. So, thank you guys. I really appreciate that. I really do. So, hey, Alicia. Hi, Julie. Hello. Got four of my blues here. Got the blues. Got the blue people. As long as we're not all the blue hair people, right? Because then that would kind of that would kind of like date us, right? Lisa, hello. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Eliza, good evening to you. Are you staying warm out there? It was actually beautiful today, even though it was only in the teens. With the sun and then being outside, it was so gorgeous. I mean, I was loading stuff in and out of my car and stuff like that, and I was actually getting really warm, and so I was down to a sweatshirt, and it was. Oh, Kristen, you are getting to the blue hair stage. I know. I try to keep a little brown and going on it instead of getting to the blue. You said blue hair, Connie? Oh, well, hey, Judy, hi. Oh, Kiri, thank you so much. Be careful with those chickens. Yeah, it was nice out. I know, it's like 50s. Oh, burr. Yeah, the teens. No, it was actually very nice. When the sun is out, it just warms you up, and it was really neat. Karen's Garden, hello. I did have a wonderful Christmas. I really did. Only our age group would know, right? It's like, oh yeah, it's not that far away here. Teens are nice this time of year in Minnesota. It is. See, Eliza? Yep. Yep. And looking at the extended forecast, and we're supposed to have another storm somewhat tomorrow. They're saying winter weather advisory. So, but from there on, like for January, so far we're seeing like highs in the teens, lows in the single digits. So that's really just normal for this time of year. So it's very, very average temps. It's when we get down to the highs that are below zero and the lows are 20 and 30 below. That's like when winter really hits. So it's, hey, Patty, thank you. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry you're having a migraine. I'll be praying for you. Oh, Connie, you really were trying it out then, weren't you? Yep. Yes, rest, sleep, and I mean, you know what you need to do for your migraine. So, oh, don't want to be ending the year like that, right? I know you haven't been feeling well for a few days. So. Oh, no problem, Alicia. Yeah, Saturday, for some reason, I was thinking it was Sunday all day, or even almost Monday, just because because Christmas is a holiday and a holy day and everything else, and it's like that day always seems like Sunday to me. So then I'm like, the next day is like, well, what day is it? It feels like either Saturday or a Monday or something. So, hey, Megan. I am feeling very well, thank you. And Gardening in the North, hello. Deb, hey, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm feeling great. I really am. Feeling really, really good. Yes, I've actually bounced back better from this virus than I have from pneumonia. It's like, okay, so you know how hard pneumonia hits me when I do get it. So I did have a good Christmas. Thanks. I hope all of you did too. All right, Kristen, you're supposed to get snow on Thursday. Yeah, I noticed like Kentucky and North Carolina, and I think Tennessee too. But for sure, Kentucky, North Carolina, a lot of snow that came through there, almost more than what we have. It's crazy. So yeah, so things are getting colder. We had a blizzard last Wednesday, and oh my goodness, our winds were gusting to 60 miles an hour. It was total whiteout conditions. I couldn't see across the street. And so we were just like hunkered in for the day. And yeah, by Christmas Eve morning, it cleared out and I was able to start shoveling out and everything. So it was good. Oh, okay. Hey, Mac and Patty, hello. An early happy birthday to Mac. If I won't be able to be on tomorrow until later, so yeah, I know, Megan. It was just interesting how my after effects of it have been, and like you guys heard me singing on Friday. It was great. So hey Eli, good evening to you. Yeah, Wednesday was nasty. Oh, you even made it home. Eeks. Well, that was something. So yeah, so we're supposed to snow start later tonight and then go all tomorrow into early Wednesday morning, I think. So anyway, so when does everybody here start your plant starts? I won't be starting until mid to later March. So that's when, other than my lettuce that's growing. Oh, you can't see it. Too many lights going there. But it's doing well. It's like 4 to 5 inches tall now, and some of them are starting to get like the little serrated edges, so it's starting to look like lettuces. Well, Don, happy birthday this week. One of my brothers is on the 30th too. Thank you, Patty. I appreciate it. I'm glad you were able to hear it and listen for a little bit. So, Deb, you've had... Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, just rest. Rest, lots of C, D, and zinc. The fluids, lots of fluids, so just take care of yourself. If you have a headache or fever, take like some ibuprofen or something like that too. I love hugs too, yes. I am a hugging person. I love hugs. Hey, Lisa. Oh, early February is when you're going to start planting. Okay. Get your starts going. Sorry, Kiri. Good luck with them. Late February for Sunflower Mom, gardening in the north, mid-February to mid-March. Oh, depending on the seeds, so true. Hey, Gil. How are you? Thanks for watching out for me there. I'm going to start peppers and tomatoes, a few herbs that take longer to go in. So, Deb, when did you say you were going to start? Can't remember if you said. Yes, I saw that on Facebook just this afternoon, Julie. So, yeah, tomorrow is Mac's birthday. You start them in February is your plan. Okay. Yeah, I have to wait till the earliest mid-March. Not this last spring, but the spring before. I started like March 15th with tomatoes and peppers. By the time I could plant my tomatoes, they were a minimum of 3 feet tall. And so, I mean, they were just like getting root bound in the pots and everything. And I just can't start them that early because I really can't plant those till June 1st. So for me to start them 2.5 months early, it is not considering how fast they end up growing. Oh, today is Mac's birthday. I thought it was tomorrow. Well, happy birthday, Mac. Thank you, Alicia. Yes, today is a 2-year anniversary of my first published video. So, yeah, even though I opened my channel like a week before or something like that, today was 2 years since I published my first video, and it's like been crazy. So I think I said like 216 videos or something like that, which isn't too bad. So I am just so grateful. I mean, it's 2 years of getting to know all of you, and it's just been amazing. The time is going so fast. And yeah. Thank you, Gardening in the North. Happy birthday. Thank you so much, you guys. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So you have your greenhouse now, so I'm like, oh, there you go. Yeah, anything that's really, really sensitive to anything below 50 degrees or 55 degrees, like tomatoes and peppers, I would not put them out yet. Even corn, even beans like it they like it warmer, all that kind of stuff. So yes, Grammy Karen, I am so grateful too. And then to be able to meet you in person and everything, it was just like such a joy. And I know it was very, very short because you guys had to turn around and go home, but it was such a pleasure to be able to see you and Jen and Zach and the kids. And we do need to get together again. Definitely have to reconnect in that way. So I just checked my P.O. box today, Alicia, and there weren't any cards in there, so I don't remember if I had a few cards last week, and I don't think yours was one of them. I'm trying to remember. So much has happened in this last week, so but I will keep checking it this week. So no worries. Christmas really just began on Friday, and so our 12 days of Christmas started Friday, and so we're still in the Christmas season. So I can still get my Christmas cards out and be totally okay. Oh, Grandma Karen, thank you. That's very sweet. Very sweet. So Kiri, February and March is when fall gardening starts. Oh, ooh, putting the goats in your garden. That would kind of keep you from planting there. Absolutely. Hey, Michelle. Hi. I know that I should plant when it's around 70 Fahrenheit, so I'm not sure what that is Celsius off the top of my head. I always have to look at a chart. So you started yours sort of early in February last year, and then you had late frost, so stuff is time to start again. I know. As anxious as we get in starting things in the spring, it really pays off so much just to wait a little bit. And it's like, here after a long winter, May hits and it's like, oh, okay, we have a few warm days. Let me get the garden in, da 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 da. And then it's like, then we get another frost, or we get snow, or we get 2 weeks of cold weather, and everything gets killed off. And I've had to replant beans and different things like that because I just got them in too early. So it pays to wait until it's warm enough, and then they will grow fantastically. And you're not wasting money or time and anything like that. So who do we have here? Still waiting for your personal vote cards. Oh, yeah, everything is just being held up. So can you only grow starts in your greenhouse? Here for me, that's the best place in my little mini right there that I have right there. That is thanks, Eli. That is the only place that really works well for me. Any south-facing windows, the sun is still too low, and so then everything just goes at an angle, it gets really long and leggy and everything. So that doesn't work for me. A lot of vegetables you can actually just direct sow when you get the garden going, and just get them out there and just plant the seed right in the ground. But there are other things like tomatoes and peppers and excuse me, herbs and different things like that. You want to get them in the ground right away and just get them going, or get them started early, and then you can transplant them. So I usually wait until Mother's Day in Pennsylvania. Yep, here Memorial Day is usually the good time. Yeah, Alicia, that's a good point. So Don, you're just doing herbs, all right. So I know that the Kentucky area in the homesteading community lost and I just want to acknowledge that Mark Avery from what is it, the Avery Road, House on Avery Road. He passed away unexpectedly this last weekend, and so just want to acknowledge that. And yes, Granny Karen. And so I'm just know that all of you who knew him and were close to him, you're all in my prayers. And I know Stivers are not going live tonight because of trying to deal with that and regroup and everything. So 22 days of Christmas, usually okay. 22 days. That's funny. That's great, Carrie. Oh, the 6 keys of lame, which means they are broody and very aggressive. Those words are actually symbols for different parts of Christianity. That song got started to help pass on the truths of our faith. You know what Jesus had told everybody that. So he was actually the partridge in the pear tree. So people knew whenever that song was created hundreds of years ago. I'm not sure when that one was, but those were all meanings and symbols of things that you know, people needed to pass on, especially when they didn't have access to books or the Bible or anything like that. So anyway, it's all talking about the love of God, not the love of the actual geese or the animals or anything like that. Oh, goodness sakes. Yes, Deb Stivers did a very nice tribute. So Alicia, yeah, just another YouTuber that was out there, and I shouldn't say just another YouTuber, another person who did YouTube, Mark Avery on the House on Avery Road. He passed away unexpectedly, and so if you watch Stivers, you'll get a really good idea of who he is. So they did a really nice video on that. So all right, we're going to talk cranberries here tonight. Oh, I was like 22 days of Christmas. Like, you're really celebrating. That's great. Oh, okay. So cranberries. There's different varieties and everything, but you know, they have like high bush cranberries, which I know grow like in the northern climates of Canada and stuff like that, especially way out in the wilderness. And that's not the cranberries we're talking about here. It's just going to be the regular kind of American cranberries that grow for regular consumption and production for people. So still cranberries you need to do something with. I still have, I think, 2 or 3 bags myself, Julie. So I have to work on that. As you know, I've been a little bit busy here. A little sidetracked. So cranberries will actually grow in zones 2 to 7. So if you're in zone 8, 9, or 10, I'm sorry, you're kind of out of luck, because they do need a little cooler climate. So, they actually take about 18 months to come to production once you get them started and everything. You can buy either the plants already started in like a 3-inch pot or something, so you've got a little plant start, or you can buy the seeds. I put in the description below in the show notes, I have actually links to the companies I found that carry the plants and the seeds. So the seeds aren't expensive at all. I mean, one company had them for $1, another one was $2.50. There's another one, I think those are usually about 25 seeds. There was another company that was a little more expensive. I don't know, it was maybe $6 or $7, but I think you got like 150 or 175 seeds or something. if you want to like create your own huge bog type of thing. So yeah, you can freeze them, absolutely. So so Stark Brothers, Fast Growing Trees, One Green World, Trade Wind Fruits, Tree Seeds, and Sheffield's were a few of those that I found. There's also a bunch of them on Etsy that you might want to look at, and you know, a variety of different people selling on there, so you can always check that out. They grow about, I'm glad you guys are having a good time there, that's good. They grow, it says anywhere from 2 to 8 inches in height, but just an average of maybe about 6 inches. So they actually would make a great, like a border. You know, even incorporate them into your landscaping or something like that. They have a real dainty evergreen foliage. And then of course the cranberries themselves are bright red fruit. Yeah, they're an attractive ornamental, even though they're edibles. They're an ornamental, they're a great ground cover. They begin bearing like the first or second year after planting. They do like very acidic soil and half-day sun. So you wouldn't want to put them where you're getting all-day sunlight and stuff like that. Now, those of you like Mac and Patty, I don't think they'd be able to grow for you very well. It would be too hot there. They need a little cooler weather in that way. And Julie, probably too hot for you too. Oh yeah, Julie, did you hear any from the company yet on your fridge? You know what, Kristen, that's kind of the impression that they grow like rice, you know, like in super wet soil. They are in kind of boggy type of soil because bogs are high in acid. So they actually, let me see, they do need plenty of moisture, but not in like flooded areas or something. They only flood the areas and put a lot of water into them for harvesting. Huge fields of them. Now, if you have, you know, 10 plants at home or something like that, you don't need to flood them. Still need to give them plenty of water, and then you can hand pick them. I mean, it's not a big deal, but they found that flooding the plants made harvest a huge, you know, great, so much easier. It was just a huge part of the discovery in doing that. So no, they do grow in wet soil, but they are also self-fertile. They're hardy to a minus 30 degrees Fahrenheit. So yay, they can grow in Minnesota, and they do. We get all of that. They're also pest and disease resistant. So they're a low creeping evergreen dwarf shrub or a vine. So they can be like a shrub or they vine kind of through. That's how they spread. They can actually spread out 7 feet long and, like I said, about 6 inches high. They have slender, wiry stems that are not thickly woody, small evergreen leaves. The flowers are dark pink, which would be beautiful, you know, before they start to fruit out. It says they have very distinct petals. They're a great pollinator for bees. The fruit is a berry that's larger than the leaves of the plant. And when it's raw or hasn't ripened yet, it's a light green when it first is fruiting out, and then it turns red when ripe. It's very, very bitter. The fruit is an acidic taste, and that's why, as we buy them, you know, and make our sauce, we do add a sweetener to it, whether it's honey, maple syrup, or sugar, or something like that. So, oh, Kristen, yeah. No, sorry, Carrie, they won't grow in hot, dry, rocky, alkaline soil. Yeah, so it was really, really kind of cool. So um, in 2017, the United States, Canada, and Chile accounted for 98% of the world production of the cranberries. And most cranberries are processed into products such as juice, sauce, jam, or sweetened dry cranberries. And then all the rest of them are sold fresh to us in the way of just the bagged cranberries that we want to do for like Thanksgiving and Christmas. They are found in acidic bogs throughout the cooler parts of the northern hemisphere. So they do need cool, moist, acidic soil. They're also related to bilberries, blueberries, and huckleberries. Um, and it says, historically, cranberry beds were constructed in wetlands. Today's cranberry beds are constructed in upland areas with a shallow water table. The topsoil is scraped off to form dikes around the perimeter. So clean sand is hauled in and spread to a depth of 4 to 8 inches. The surface is laser leveled flat to provide even drainage. The beds are frequently drained with socked tile in addition to the perimeter ditch. In addition to making it possible to hold water, the dikes allow equipment to service the beds without driving on the vines. It's really kind of cool. I did put a link in the show notes to about more on the benefits of the cranberries. So all this information I'm reading to you, I gleaned from like 4 or 5 different sites as well as Wikipedia. So it's hopefully it's not too much information here. Irrigation equipment is installed in the bed to provide irrigation excuse me, for vine growth and for spring and autumn frost protection. So the commercial beds, I mean, they've got it, a whole system there. So yeah, they've really got it out there. Oh, Kira, you're in the dark. I'm so sorry. Okay. A common misconception about cranberry production is that the beds remain flooded throughout the year. And I think, Kristen, this is what you were thinking. So during the growing season, cranberry beds are not flooded, but are irrigated regularly to maintain soil moisture. So the vines are propagated by moving vines from an established bed. The vines are spread on the surface of the sand of the new bed and pushed into the sand with a blunt disc. So they can just take all these pieces of vines and just stick them in there and they will start growing, which is really pretty cool. Hey, PH Homestead, hi. The vines are watered frequently during the first few weeks until roots form and new shoots grow. Beds are given frequent light application of nitrogen fertilizer during the first year. And if you're wondering why maybe cranberries are so expensive, it says the cost of renovating cranberry beds is estimated to be between $30,000 and $50,000 per acre. So just to renovate a bed. So raw cranberries take about 16 months to fully mature and are harvested in early fall. You can store them in the freezer for 6 to 12 months. So there you go, Julia. You've got 6 to 12 months to finish up your cranberries. So again, the beds are flooded in the autumn to facilitate the harvest, and again during the winter to protect against low temperatures. In cold climates like Wisconsin, Minnesota, New England, and eastern Canada, the winter flood typically freezes into ice, while in warmer climates, the water remains liquid. When ice forms on the beds, trucks can be driven onto the ice to spread a thin layer of sand to control pests and rejuvenate the vines. Sanding is done every 3 to 5 years. So instead of throwing compost on it, they put sand in there, which is kind of cool. Although most cranberries are wet picked as described previously, 5 to 10% of the U.S. crop is still dry picked. It makes for higher labor costs and a lower yield, but a lot of times the dry picked berries are less bruised and can be sold as fresh fruit instead of having to be immediately frozen or processed. So if you try growing them at home and you hand pick them, fresh picked, you can have these wonderful cranberries, and then throw them in the freezer for another 6 to 12 months. So I think it's something I'm going to definitely look into because I use a lot of cranberries and I like them. Let me see where I'm at here. So, Alicia, you love cranberry juice. It's not tart. Yeah. Cran raspberry. There you go. And see, if you're at home, you can make your own. Yeah, make your own juice and add, this sweetener of choice that you would want in there. Where am I at here? So originally, when they would harvest them, they had a two-handed comb scoops. So they had these scoops and they would just go through and be picking them up and everything. So dry picking is today usually done by motorized walk-behind harvesters, but they have to be small enough to go through the beds without damaging the vines. So probably almost like a pea picker or something like that. So yes, cranberries are very, very healthy. So cranberries for fresh market are stored in shallow bins or boxes with perforated or slatted bottoms, which deter decay by allowing air to circulate. So if you're going to pick them at home and put them in a baggie or something like that to try to keep them, make sure that you poke some holes in it so that some air can get in there and circulate, because that'll keep them fresher and keep them from rotting. Because harvest occurs in late autumn, cranberries for fresh market are frequently stored in thick-walled barns without mechanical refrigeration. So they don't refrigerate at all, just very dark barns. So temperatures are regulated by opening and closing vents in the barn as needed. Cranberries destined for processing are usually frozen in bulk containers shortly after arriving at a receiving station. So as of 2016, the European Union was the largest importer of American cranberries. So we sent a huge amount of our cranberries to the European Union. Followed individually by Canada, China, Mexico, and South Korea. From 2013 to 2017, U.S. cranberry exports to China grew exponentially, making China the second largest country importer, reaching $36 million in cranberry products. But they are no longer getting supplies from us. So that's all kind of the history and the background there of, well, harvesting and everything. I've got like more history. But now the nutrition, if you can juice and cranberry, can it? Yeah, you should be able to. I mean, I can can apple juice and pear juice and stuff. Citric juices, I haven't come across anything that says I can them, but I would think cranberry juice, because it's a clear, kind of a clearish juice. There's no like pulp and different things like that. So yeah, Julie, I bet you could. How many bags of cranberries do you have? I don't remember now. Found a 3-ingredient cranberry juice recipe video. Ooh. Hey, Pete's Little Homestead. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. So cranberries are high in vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin K, vitamin E, potassium, calcium, manganese, copper, and B complex vitamins. So very, very good. Very good for you. They also have, they're full of antioxidants. There's 5 different ones. I'm not going to try to, well, quercetin, myricetin, peonidin, uracilic acid, and proanthocyanidins. The A-type ones. They're supposed to help lower cancer. But here's an interesting thing. When cranberries are dried, they lose most of their vitamins. So again, if you're able to juice them or freeze them and mix them into something else, they would be much better. So they lose most of their vitamins when they're dried, but they hold on to potassium and calcium. So it depends on what you want them for and everything else. Also, the dried berries are higher in sugar naturally. So, a study was that out of 20 common fruits, cranberries have the highest level of phenols, which are a form of antioxidants. So red grapes were a distant second. So they are high in tons and tons of stuff. People call cranberries a superfood for good reason. They have all kinds of health boosting benefits. They protect against liver disease. They lower blood pressure. They improve your eyesight. They can improve cardiovascular health. They help with urinary tract infections. It lessens the risk of a UTI, but it won't help after one starts. So keep that in mind, anybody who's susceptible to that. Because they go, oh, well, I've got an infection, let me drink some cranberry juice. It's not going to help afterwards. You have to stay on a regular regimen in order to help prevent them. It helps with gut health, improves gut bacteria. It reduces bile acids that are linked to colon or gastrointestinal cancer. It also can keep your mouth healthy. It controls harmful acids, keeps it from sticking to your teeth, helps stop cavities, gum disease, tooth decay, and even oral cancer, which is just amazing. Right, so these little cranberries that people only eat at Thanksgiving in the can, that's this jelly thing that you just, there's probably no cranberry nutrients left in that thing. So it's best to get the fresh and make your own in that way. So a couple things. So if anybody is on blood thinners called warfarin, I think that's how you say it, because cranberries are so high in vitamin K, it can interfere with that blood thinner, warfarin. So only drink small amounts. Drink or eat small amounts if you're taking that. Also, if you are a tendency to get kidney stones, if you drink a lot of cranberry juice over time, that will increase that. So you might want to think about that. So anyway, cranberries have been around for a long, long, long time. Since like the 1600s. We've got recipes going back into that part. Massachusetts was the first one here in the States, and there's the North American variety. There's also some in Europe that, and this is kind of interesting, they call them cranberries, C-R-A-N-E, cranberries, because they thought the flower resembled the head of a sandhill crane. So they grew in Britain, though, but in medieval times they underwent a variety of names such as marshwort, fenwort, and mossberry. So cranberry only got its term in the 17th century here. So, so anyway, yeah, it says we now export more than 30% of the total production, which is crazy to me, how much we export, but so many people get their cranberry fix with juice. Although it keeps the vitamin C and potassium, it loses the other nutrients from the whole fruit, such as fiber, iron, and calcium. The cranberry juice cocktail, not the real pure cranberry juice, but the cocktail, is also high in added sugar. It says to balance the pucker factor. So yes, it can be rather bitter. So, okay, Alicia, that's possible, but you need to check into it. Yeah, if you're especially you know, like you can still have small amounts of it. It's just like if you're going to drink an 8-ounce glass every day or something, that would be that. I know PH Homestead. I love dried cranberries too. Love putting them in, you know, all my salads and a whole variety of salads and different things. So it's, I do try to get ones that are organic and not sulfur dried and the different things like that. And so there's such an incredible difference in the flavor. Oh my goodness, they're just fantastic. So anyway, but yeah, the dried ones, add them to cranberries, to baked goods, in bread, toss them in with apple crisp. So there's all kinds of different things you can read and do. I am going to include here some, I meant to put it in the show notes and I'll put them in afterwards, but here are some recipes that I'm going to share with you guys. Oops. I didn't get it. There you go. Let me put the first one in again, the cranberry apple crisp. I think the link is going to be a little funny here. There we go. This was including the title. So then cranberry cranberry glazed carrots. And then, oh, I already did that one. Sorry. You guys are getting two first. Okay. You're welcome. Okay. And then here's an orange cranberry chicken. So there's a few recipes I came across that looked really, really, really good. And you guys might enjoy them. So anyway, there's things about cranberries. I hope there's something that you learned. And like I said, in the show notes there, I also put in a link that would tell you all the benefits of cranberries, because I know that it's going to be hard to remember everything I talked about. So all the benefits, there are links for where you can buy the plants or the seeds. And horseradish, it goes great with meat, little baby. I know the orange cranberry chicken, and that looks really good. So thank you, Julie, for putting that up there. I appreciate that. So if that's something that you can grow in your area, check it out. And I don't know if it would be anything that you could grow inside, like especially if you have air conditioning all year round or something like that, and keep it. You could put it outside during the winter. You know, if you have it in a pot. I don't know. I didn't come across anything like that, but it's worth a try. So I was trying to find my recipe, and I looked through like 5 of my canning books and didn't find it. So it's probably on a sheet or something. But here's some cranberry sauce that I made this fall, and it actually supposed to have orange juice in it. I didn't have orange juice, but I do have dehydrated orange peel that I powdered up. And so I put a couple teaspoons of that in with the sauce as it was cooking. And oh my goodness, it is just like fabulous. And this is a recipe that is lower in sugar too. So having that orange in there, and there's a few other spices and everything. So it's not just like your straight cranberry everything. So it's like a cranberry orange with other stuff. And it's like so good. So anyway, I canned, I don't know, 5 or 6 half-pints or something like that. So I've got a little bit of cranberry sauce to enjoy for the year. I do have, like I said, cranberries left in my fridge that I need to do something with, so I might find another recipe to work with that too. Another thing you can do with cranberries, sticking to my paper here, is ferment them. So if you don't want to can them, you're afraid of doing that, but you want to be able to enjoy them and eat them. I've got them fermented here with apples. So I've got little apple pieces all cut up. This one I had started in a half-gallon jar on November 4th, and so it's now almost 2 months. And just a little bit, you know, once in a while, every few days, I'll go and have a tablespoon or something like that. And it's really, really good. So this fermented stuff is so good. So yes, it's apples and cranberries, and I don't remember what else was in here. It was pretty simple, but then I used, for the liquid, I actually put kombucha in there. So it gave some extra little boost in there for fermenting. Now, whenever you're fermenting something like this, like I started in a half-gallon jar, and as you're eating it down, you want to transfer it to other jars so that it's packed up tight. I had some in a pint jar that I just finished up, so that's why this is still full. But as this goes down, I'll transfer it into a pint jar, because the less air you have up here with your ferment, the less chance it's going to be of creating extra bacteria or mold or something like that on the top. So do that with any ferment too, as it's going down, like cabbage and different things like that. Just keep transferring it to a smaller container so that you have that in there. But this is so good. Oh my goodness, it is excellent. And the cranberries, I put them in there. I can't remember if I cut them in half or just put them in the food processor and just like lightly chop them. It's been a couple months and I've been through a few things since then, so I don't remember. But I know I just, you know, kind of small diced up the apples and stuff like that. And really, it was 1 bag of cranberries and I think 2 apples. I think that's what I made, and it filled, like I said, or did I use 2 bags? No, I think it was 1 bag of cranberries. I don't remember. What does the ferment taste like? Oh, it is so good. It's got a little zing to it, a little tang, but it's very, you can taste the apple and the cranberry all in there together, just a little bit of a zip, and it's not like spicy, but it's, I don't know how to say it other than a zing. So cranberry apple juice, oh, that is good too, Pete. Absolutely. So anyway, this is really, really good. And so, like, I think every winter this is going to be a staple in my fridge. And it will, I figured it would last me through the first of the year, which is really good. And I think this will last 3 or 4 months in the fridge. So do I have a recipe printed out? I will look for that, Michelle. And let me make a note here. Where would you want me to post that? What liquid would I use instead of kombucha? Really, you can just use water. Maybe, I don't know if there's any sugar added to that or not. Might have been a little bit of sugar water, but kombucha is certainly a liquid you can use for fermenting anything, really, because it's already fermented, and so you're adding that to it, and it helps everything ferment faster and with more nutrients and better flavors and stuff like that. So ferment recipe. I could post it in the community tab, or I could put it down in the show notes back again. So whatever would work better for you guys. What would you prefer, Michelle? Hey, Fancy Farmer. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Hi, Christy. Hi, Fancy Farmer. I'm so glad you were able to enjoy that. And you know, it was great. A playlist. It would be either in the show notes or the community tab. I don't have a playlist just for ferments yet, because I would have to do a separate video on that, Michelle. So I have not done a video on this yet. Community tab, okay. Yeah, there's a lot of things I just haven't been able to get to. Okay, I'll put it in both places. How about that? That's true. That's true, Megan. A ferment playlist would be really good. Um, there are a lot of things I'm just trying out yet. Fave recipes. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I should start that. There are a lot of things that I'm trying like a first or second time, and I think it was the first time for this particular recipe. And oh, now I remember the recipe is. Um, let me see if I can find it here. Where would it be? Fermented foods, cranberry sauce. That's not the one. I'll have to look because I think what I ended up doing is taking bits and pieces of two different ferments. Because one called for pecans, another one called for pineapple to be added to this. I don't know if I put pineapple in this one or not. And then one that has like pumpkin pie spice or cinnamon, different things like that. So you can actually kind of put in whatever works in that way. So Michelle, yeah, were you doing like carrots and different things like that? Yes, you use salt in there is your fermenting base. When you're using fruit, salt doesn't work with that. So you want to have more of a sugar base, I guess you could say. So that's where kombucha is a great alternative for me for that instead of sugar, because it's already been, kombucha is just a fermented sweet tea. So you've already had that sugar fermenting going on. And so if I can put that in there without the sugar, it did a fantastic job. So yeah, if you put a little pineapple in there, you can put a little cinnamon, you can put, because this is a sweeter ferment. It's not a salty ferment like it said cabbage and carrots and some of the others. It's also not pickling it like it would be for onions or something like that. So there's a lot of different things, and it just, make small amounts, put them in a pint jar or something, and just start experimenting. And that's what I've started doing. And hey, Stringfield Ridge. And some things I don't like, and I won't try them again. But that's where if you use small amounts, you can find out what you like and what you don't. Yeah. Yeah, salt is bad for some. So if you don't want that ferment, you know, you can always, if you start getting into like apple cider vinegar and different things like that, you're obviously going to be doing more pickling than you are actually fermenting. So yeah, just I'm trying. And so anyway, one of my Christmas presents from my daughter, ta-da, was a fermenting book. The Farmhouse Culture Guide to Fermenting. This thing is huge, and it's just like all recipes. It's 360 pages, but it's like, oh my goodness. Cucumber kimchi. There's a whole chapter just on kimchi here. On sauerkraut, on different things. Dry salted ferments, and I'm sure there's going to be, there's a lot of sauces. Whole thing on kombucha, because kombucha is a ferment, like I said. Oh, that's a good looking Scoby. Kefir. So I don't know. I mean, like, look at these things. Doesn't that look good? So for all the different things you can ferment. So love fermented carrots. Awesome. Then the other book I got, yay, the Amish Canning Cookbook. I'm so excited. I've just been looking at these and then watching other people do recipes out of these, and I'm like, oh my goodness. So I did not buy any more books. These are gifted, so I'm going to need a whole new bookshelf for my canning books, I think. Thank you, Christy. Thanks. All right, so my garden tip for tonight is to plan your garden. Plan it out, draw it out. I use graph paper here, so I've just started doing sketches of what I want, you know, the different dimensions, especially if you're going to be adding things, and this year I am expanding. That's my plan anyway. So far, nothing has been done, but it's winter, so I'm planning. So hopefully spring will allow me to do this. So draw out your beds as a whole, and then, you know, just on one sheet, do the whole thing, and it's like, then say tomatoes, green beans, you know, herbs, whatever, and then take another sheet and draw each bed a little bit bigger, and then kind of lay out how you want it to be. Now, some people are just like, whatever goes in, I'll just throw the seeds, and whatever comes up, well, that's fine, unless you really, really need to utilize your space very, very carefully, which I have to, because I don't have that much space within my beds. So I have to really plan my beds to maximize the space that's there. And a brand new series coming in. Oh, Michelle, I will. Thank you. But just detail where you want those plants to be, you know, and then spacing them. So you've got this bed that's like a 4x8 or something. It's like, okay, I can put 12 tomato plants in there, or whatever it is. Figure out, like, okay, it just says tomato plants. Well, if you have 3 different varieties of tomato plants, or 6 different varieties, you know, kind of indicate where you want them to be. You know, some plants are going to be huge and bushy and harder to take care of. You don't want them to overshadow a smaller plant or something like that. So kind of do that in the way of just, you know, how your sun hits the plants, how you know, different things like that. So kind of work on that. This is the time of year to be planning that out. So when you actually plant things, now some of it might change, so don't worry about it. But then whatever sheet you have with that, make sure you edit it to change what matches what you plant. Otherwise, you won't know what's coming up. And then also start getting your seeds. I think I have everything that I need, and then some. But yes, start getting your seeds. Oh, thank you, Alicia. I'm hoping. I'm not, I have to make sure I can get all of the supplies that I need for it, so I'm not really going to say anything yet. But anyway, okay, the prep tip has to do with the cranberries. So get end of the season, which is now, end of the season cranberries on sale, and can them or ferment them or freeze them or something, and then work on trying different recipes. If a recipe says that it'll make 6 pints or something, cut it in half or in a third or something like that, and so you've got fewer or less, you know, production or less product that you would be dealing with. And then, because if you don't like it, it's like you can have 6 pints of something that you don't like sitting there, and it will just sit there on your shelf for 2 years until you look at it and go, I've never eaten this, I don't like it, and then you throw it away. So so just kind of work at that. But yeah, end of the season cranberries are really, really cheap, and you can get it. So you start reading a book till you fall asleep. Oh, Christy, I hear you. Note to self, don't do 3 cherry tomatoes, ground cherries, and zinnias in the 6-foot. Yes, Kristen, important to keep those kind of notes too, because 3 years from now you'll go, oh, maybe I'll try that again, and you realize you forget the reasons why that didn't work. But yes, do that. So yes, end of the season, I've been able to find them for, like, you know, $1 or less a bag at this point in the year. So it's, you know, they're not, they would have been banged around a little bit more. So you need to do something with them a little bit sooner, because they're not quite as fresh as when they came out in early November or whatever. So to start, yeah, do some ideas, do some things with them, grow ideas, think about growing your own. In researching this, I'm just like, that really kind of inspired me. It's like, where could I put those? I would have to dedicate a bed, just like for strawberries, I'd have to dedicate a bed for cranberries and just leave it in that way. But, anyone grow garlic? You planted beginning of November. They started to grow because we had warm weeks and we got snow. They should be fine. They're meant to do that. I would cover them if you're able to. Just cover them up with a lot of straw, and to protect them from any more snow or cold or something. I don't know if you put a lot of straw down or not. That's what you're supposed to do, is plant them, put some compost, and then cover them with straw. So anyway, yes, it is easy to get carried away planting a small garden. It absolutely is, because you want to grow so much, and yet you're limited on space. So we'll have to, and then trying to rotate some things around sometimes. And last year I tried a bunch of new things, and some were great. I'll grow again. Some others didn't work out so well. But you know what? That's the case every year. After 27 years of doing this, still experimenting every year and learning new things. So if you've only been doing it for a few years, don't get discouraged. It's great. It's a great lifestyle. It's a great thing to have. And anyway, not repeating yourself intentionally. YouTube is acting. Oh, so sorry. You see people with big gardens, I think so much wasted space. You know what? Sometimes, Christy, yeah, it's learning how to utilize the space that you have, you know, and getting really creative with it. And I think that's half of the fun for me. The challenge is like, okay, how did I use this space? You know, I've got 3 feet by 6 feet here, and it's like, what can I grow in here? How much can I produce out of that? What is going to work together? How is this going to grow? And it's been pretty amazing. Like in one bed, I grew tons of peppers, and I had beets and carrots and borage all in the one, and radishes. I did it all in one 4 by 6 foot bed, and it gave me a lot of food, which is just really amazing. So yeah, you don't need an acre in order to produce a lot. So you can do a lot with a little bit. Oh yeah, and Juliet, sometimes it's a lot more work too, you know, to have a huge space. But anyway, guys, I just want to thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for being here. Thank you for Christmas caroling with me on Friday. That was really fun. And guys, just Happy New Year. It's coming up on this Friday. I don't plan on singing on New Year's, but because I only know part of Old Lang Syne, you know, Old Lang Syne, or Lang Syne, Old. I know it's AULD. Oh, so anyway, the goal is to have beautiful boards like I do. You know, it just grows. It grows. You just have to, you know, water it once in a while, and it'll just go. I will be praying for each one of you for this new year, for your hopes and your dreams, and your families, your YouTube channels, all of the new things that you have planned for this year. And you guys just take care. God bless, and always have hope. I love you all, and just take care. Bye-bye.